Hey E36 fanatics, Steven here. Today I'm going to be removing the passenger and driver's side fenders. It's not too bad. There's a lot of screws that you wouldn't expect there were so many on the fenders, but there's a decent amount, but it's not really that bad. Now there are a couple key differences though between my vehicle and whatever vehicle you're probably going to be doing. First off, when you're doing your fender, you're probably going to have your door on. Don't worry, you can completely remove a fender with the door on. This is a parts car and I already sold the door, so there is no door. But you can see here clearly that there are two bolts, one here and one way down there, that are 10 millimeters. Those are part of the fender that have to be removed. And then what you do is you pull up on this rubber piece right here. Here's one of them. And there are T30 torx screws. These are, excuse my French, but these are a real bitch. I hate these, and you know, now that I'm remembering this, I haven't pulled a fender off in a long time in a Beamer, but that was the reason I don't like pulling fenders off of BMWs, at least E36s. The reason being is that these T30s strip really easily after being here for so long. They are horrible. I think like when last time I did it, half of these stripped, so pray for me. I'm hoping they will not strip this time. Here's the second fender. I have already removed the T30 screws, T30 bolts. I've heard on some fenders that there's actually that they are 10 millimeters instead. If they are, good for you. I'd replace them with that. And then you have two bolts underneath the black plastic piece here. I removed the screws holding the black plastic piece. Look like this, flathead screwdriver. I removed those to basically be able to lift this up and get to the two bolts underneath here. Now it is actually attached to your hood hanger right here, so be very careful with it because you don't want to mess up your hood. So just do one side at a time, obviously, if you're replacing both fenders. Underneath you got these push pins, these black little push pins here. That one just fell out. So what you do is I just take an electric wire snipper, and here's one right here. All right, so there's two bolts under here holding the fender in. I just pulled one out. Okay, so these two bolts right here, on my vehicle, they were significantly more caked up, but my fender had actually been, my vehicle had actually been in a wreck, and this area had been damaged, so they had a ton of glue around these bolts, so I had to take a screwdriver and tear out a lot of this glue crap around it. But you see here, the 10 millimeter is pretty free, so you just got that one and this one right here, and that's the only two bolts holding on the fender at the very bottom. There's only one screw holding in the fender on this side, closest to the rear, and it is this one right here, and it will actually be covered by the fender well. So all you actually have to do is remove this bottom screw on this end. Now on this end there are several screws holding in the fender. You can see them. This is the fender right here, and there's 3 screws holding it in. You got to remove all these and get the fender well out of the way to do that. Hey, so sorry guys, I forgot to record when I was actually pulling the fender off at the last part, but as you can see, once you remove those last 3 bolts that bolt in right over here, that's it for the fender. Literally all you do is pull it off and it comes right off. But you can see here what I was talking about, where this vehicle had previously been in a wreck and I didn't realize it until I started pulling off this fender. and they had done some serious gluing parts together, so it was a bigger pain for me to remove than I initially realized. But anyways, that's it for this video. Like I said, fender removal is a pretty easy job as long as these bolts at the top come out without stripping. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.